Hey everybody, our decline average picker. So Southampton lock picking club asked about the no gut challenge lock, if it would pick. Southampton? There's only one H in it, right? Southampton is what I feel like it should be. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so can we reassemble it? Will the key work? And does it pick? Yeah, so we are going to attempt to find that out. This is probably going to take me a minute to get it back together. I've actually seen a bit of spring that's just completely mangled up here on the side. So yeah, let's put the lock back together. This is for you, man. All right, let's do this. Chamber 2. So mangled, the spring wants to go into chamber 3, or chamber 1, I mean. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to grab another spring. I think the spring is stuck in chamber 4, but there's no way it's coming out. So we'll just have 2 springs in chamber 4.
Oh, geez, this is horrible. We won't go back. We won't go back together. It's like, God, this thing is chewed up. Where's the follower? Oh, jeez. Chamber 2 took a real beating. I think that one might be the worst chamber in there. Let me make sure I get the right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, chamber 4 is not. Oh, shit. Chamber 4 is not in a good way. Find that pin. Got it. Actually, if we lost that one, it would have been a big deal. We would have just had to size a new one. Alright, let's. Okay.
Feels pretty terrible. Alright, let's see if this thing will go in. You can hear the springs just like being incredibly upset. Okay, so I don't know if you can see pin 2 here, and you probably can't see it, but it is actually pushing out the side of the lock. This shows you just kind of how much abuse a lock will take, right? And still work as a lock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the best chance we've got. I'm going to push pin 2 down into the Bible there. Okay, hopefully this is going to show up on video. So yeah, what you're looking at here is pin 2, and it's at rest state, and it's sitting down there, but you can see the spring could almost just come right out the side. So there's our driver 1, and our driver 2 is just way down in there. And what happens is when you put the key in, this thing comes up, and that driver almost wants to come out of that hole. It gets turned sideways because there's not a whole lot of that sidewall of that chamber left. Did I bring any tensioners in here with me? So we've got the most slack going counterclockwise. I don't know why. We're going to try to go clockwise. What's it feel like? Well, pin 3 feels like the only real pin. Got some good solid clicks. Four, you could feel that extra spring in 4. You know what? Nothing actually stuck. I just reset it and did not hear a single thing drop. Everything just, it feels like a broken lock. I mean, it's trying to kind of just give it some tests here, as opposed to going for a straight pick. Like, I mean, it feels like a lock that's just not right. You know, like you get those really used ones, and only like half of it kind of wants to pick. Like, it doesn't have the gummy feel, like it's dirty, but it does feel broken. It kind of reinforces my idea, though. I've often said, I think, you know, you wouldn't challenge lock, just go bury a lock out in the dirt for, you know, like 6 months or something. What I don't think this would do, I don't think this would hold up to repeated pickings. Okay, I want to see something. Okay, so what I wanted to take it out and see pin 2. So I said it wouldn't hold up to repeated pickings. What I expected to find was that pin 2 had been picked and had never fallen back into our core there, but it actually has. I was fully expecting to see it coming out of the side, but it's not. Good for you, little lock. A little bit clamp issue there. Had to edit out. Okay. I'm not going to be afraid to push pin 2. You definitely feel that spring in 4. We're in a bit of a false. And so we're no doubt in one of those gouges, and those gouges are so nasty. The pins aren't giving any feedback, and I really don't remember which one it could be. Taking that lower warding off is always makes things tricky for getting these front pins. I think, though, like, I think this one, it would be pretty random. I feel like if you rattled this thing around a little bit, you know, you could get off one of the, oh gosh, that was a horrible sound. You could get off one of those gouges, and it would probably pick in like 2 seconds, right? Like if you jostled or shook this thing. But I'm impressed. I am impressed. But it doesn't, it's not getting open because it feels like it's tricky. You know, there's not that sense of craftsmanship, I guess, to it. It feels like it's not opening because it feels like it's broken. I mean, that's like, if I brought this home from like the restore and this is what the lock was feeling like, I would take it apart to see what was wrong with it. I'd try the key. Like, I wouldn't believe that it just wasn't opening because picking skill. That first pin is hard to get to. Let me see if I can. Okay, that's pin 1. I think that was 2. I don't even know. there's no feedback really from the pins. There's like one pin that's giving some feedback every now and then. But all the feedback is just lost to a... Okay, there we go. I think pin 3 too keeps coming back down, probably because everything else is so mushed up that if you make any allowance, it just drops back down the chamber, because that was the one that was most untouched. Like at any point in all of these, I'm surprised it's taken me this long, honestly, but in this whole thing, it has consistently also felt like it's hanging on by like one, maybe 2 pins, or like a half pin or something. Like it constantly is feeling like it's about to turn over. There we go. There we go, we're in. I'm not gonna re-gut it. Yeah, so our pin 2, it definitely does not fare well when the core gets turned. Let's see if it drops back down in there. I mean, it's still turning very smoothly. Okay, pin 2 did drop down, and the lock still works. And that time, pin 2 did not drop. So whether or not pin 2 goes into play is, wow, it sits really low in there too. Yeah, so to get pin 2 into play, you have to kind of, when you're bringing the key back around, you've got to overshoot it just a tad, roll it back, and that lines it up, because there's so much wiggle room in there. So you've got to ride that turning core, ride it back, then you can take the key out and it'll drop down into the chamber. Thought we'd do a little pickup shot here so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, we put the key in, we take it out, we're dropping down okay. Now when we start to turn it, you can see if we turn, the core is just causing it to ride around, and so you've got to bring it back, get it aligned, get the key out, and then it will drop back down. I don't know about the, oh yeah, and there 5 doesn't drop down. So really the problem is pins aren't cleanly always dropping. So I think, you know, if you were to mail this thing or something, like to somebody, or just jostle it around for a while with, you know, I think it could probably go a lot quicker or something. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, yeah, it's not going to survive too much. I don't think mailing and picking. I don't think I'm going to send it out unless somebody really just goes, man, send me no gut. But anyway, okay, Southampton Lockpicking Club. There you go. The no gut challenge lock. Reassembled and picked. And I think it did all right. Give it a little applause. Have a good one, guys.